Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Phimai. We're about an hour or so outside of Nakhon Ratchasima, or Korat. And what we did is we came over here to see the Phimai festival, which will be going on later on today. But I wanted to go and explore the ruins before it gets dark. They'll have a light and sound show tonight, and I'll probably make a video of it because it's really, really cool. They have the traditional dancing and everything here and tell you a little bit about the ruin and the history of it. But anyway, we're going to walk through here. This was built in like the 11th or 12th century, and this was actually at the end of the Royal Road here that went from Angkor to here. And Phimai is actually facing southeast towards Angkor, which is a little different. Most of the temples are facing to the east with the rising sun, but this is not. This was originally built, I believe, as a Buddhist temple also. It wasn't Hindu, even though there is Hindu elements and stuff like that. Anyway, let's walk through here and let's see what we see. Here is the old town, and they'll have a market and stuff like that set up whenever it gets dark. And then normally this is a pay site. It's 100 baht to come in, but during the Phimai festival it's free. So let's walk through here. This is the largest Khmer ruin in Thailand. I think it's 1,000 meters by 600 meters is the outer wall. So this is a lintel, and you can see what they say here. This is depicting Indra mounted on the divine elephant, Aravata. They're calling it Lopburi art, which they say is Khmer art in Thailand. So that's the 11th century. And this was found at Prasat Ban Buyai in Nakhon Ratchasima Province. I've actually never been to that temple, the same as this one over here. That one is really, really nice also. And over here is the entrance to the temple. And then there's a humongous laterite stone and sandstone building over here. Let's take a look at it and then we'll go into the monument itself. This building right here was used by the king, they believe. So he would come over here and stay and prepare for rituals. And they call this Palab Pla Pulung Krung or something like that. And it is fantastic. It has the normal stuff you'll see with the stone carvings. You can see they carve all of these columns, all of the sandstone. The Khmer were amazing as far as their ability to carve all of these stones. They carved every possible surface of it from the top down to the bottom, and then they drilled holes in it to move them, plus to interlock all of these pieces. So this would have been covered. Now the roof is completely gone, but you can see the walls, and it would have been a massive building. Yeah, really cool. And they carved all of those, so there would have been a lintel up there, and then all of these sandstone pieces. So these were like a cuboid, and then they chiseled them and made them into like octagons and everything else. You can see the sandstone's cracked right there in the middle. And then how tall they were. They stacked all these stones up. Just an amazing feat. Now this is one of the better ruins. Probably Phonom Rung in Buriram is probably the best in Thailand. But this is a close second. I really like this temple. Phonom Rung is up on a hill, which makes it kind of unique. Well, this one is pretty easy to get to. It's just about an hour outside of Nakhon Ratchasima, so easy to get over here and take a look at it. You can see the sandstone windows and how they carved. They put them in these 45, and then they notched all this other stuff. They had kind of a puzzle piece, and they put it all together. This is the red sandstone here. Some of it will be the white, some of it will be the red like this. And they did the floor and all the walls. So this would have been a massive structure. Okay, so let's go into the center of the ruin now. And we're coming up to the entrance here. So we have some restored Khmer lions. And what this is the Naga bridge. You can see the Naga right here. Now the Naga bridge symbolizes the link between the earthly realm and the heavenly realm in the Buddhist and the Hindu religions. And you can see the Naga here. And I really like how they did this. So they carved all of these stones and then they put them on a little carved stone itself and kind of raised it up. And then they raised up the whole thing. You can see the sandstone base down there, but then they put those columns right there to support the Naga bridge. Oh, it's really fantastic. And then this leads you into the entrance to Gopura right over here. And then right here is the Gopura. And they call this the campaign cow, the outer wall over here. So you would have came into the structure, and this links the heavenly realm with the earthly realm also. So you can see the Aspara dancers, I think, up there on that lintel. And then these here look like they've been restored down below. Now the pattern here is a crucifix. Check out the size of those stones. So these are smaller pieces that they've stacked, but they're still just an absolute massive piece of sandstone. And you can see where they drilled it to move them. So they had elephants pulling these around, and the smaller ones, teams of men could move them. And you can see here where they've carved all of these also. And then they've put all these at 45-degree angles and fit them all together perfectly. Now the name of this, Phimai, comes from a Sanskrit word, or an old Khmer word that they found at the entrance to this area. That was like Vimai, but they read it as Phimai. So that's where they get the name. Now this would have been all covered. This would have been absolutely magnificent here also. You can see they've supported back over there, and then they've drilled holes for various columns and stuff like that. And there would have been images in here, and then you would have started your journey with a little bit of praying over here and then made your way inside. And I really like the way they did these stone columns like this. So they carved those to be round, and then they put those in these sandstone windows, and they notched the top and the bottom to fit them together. Yeah, and you can see how they did the 45, and then they did another 45, and they kind of fit them together. And then you can see up there in the sandstone where they've carved that. So this would have all been carved on this wall. And the same here. So what do they call those? It's like a lodi, I think, right there on the bottom. And this would have been a cuboid, and you can see they would have carved it into that style. And all along it would have been carved. And then on the inside of these doors would have been some of the Khmer writing. And they would have carved all up there, everything, every little bit of stone would have had details carved into the center of the sanctuary. And you can see they got a stage that they're going to set up here for the light and sound show tonight. We're trying to queue up to get tickets to come in here, and it will be really, really busy tonight, but it's a fantastic show. They dance on the stage, they have fireworks and playing the music. It's really a nice thing. This is the sanctuary. You can see this would have been a covered walkway, and then they have those little things up on the top, which are kind of like little bullets. They're fantastic. And we got another lintel here. That's the Roku, but they have another name for it in the Khmer. It's like the monster that ate the moon. And then you can see more of the wall over there. So in here, they have this wood down to give you kind of a nice little walkway. And then they have these over here. So these holes would have had the auspicious objects inside of it. So they would have put them down there whenever they built this temple. And I guess they've taken them out and put them in the Phimai Museum. And I've never been in the Phimai Museum. I need to get over there and take a look at it. And then you can see the covered walkway here. So they've supported this up to keep it from falling. You can see all the stone carvings. Yeah, the sandstone, they could work it pretty easy. They had iron tools but it still would have taken thousands and thousands of hours to carve those. This is inside. So we have the library over there, and then the center prong. And then we have another one over here. And then we got a couple gals here that are dressed up in the traditional clothes. Yeah, really a nice ruin here. So we can see the detail up here. So this was white sandstone. You can see the lintel up there. It is fantastic. So that's a dancing Shiva, and then it has all the other Buddha figures all around. So this was built in the 11th century, in the late 11th century. And as you can see, they just carved every little bit. All along the bottom here, all of this is carved. They notched all these stones. So that piece over there is broken and missing. But you can see all the floral pattern and everything all the way up. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So let's go inside this prong, and then we'll look at the smaller buildings here. You can see the little colonnades, and then they have the holes here in the floor also. So they would have had the images probably standing here, and that would have been the base for them. And then you can see another lintel up here. Oh, so it's a chariot, and you got the guys fighting. Oh, that's really cool too. We can see inside of here all the beautiful stone carvings. Yeah, this is really something in here. So you can see the lintel above this entrance also. Yeah, really cool. Not sure what figures are in there. Looks like you have a couple elephants and some other things. And then those little figures across the top. And then you go into the next little part of it. And this would have been a walkway here. Has another lintel, more carvings. And then we'll have the deity over here in the middle. So you can see that Buddha sitting on the Naga. And there's the Naga head above him. And then this is really, really tall, but they have it blocked off. Keep the bats and the pigeons from roosting up there. Just a really beautiful, beautiful building. When you come out, they have these little columns right here. And I think those are where they found the inscriptions. There's one on that side and one over here. And then you can see the covered walkway. There's just a little bit of it left. And then they have another one of the gopuras right there with another lintel. And that would have been shaped like a little prong. So there would have been entrances on the 4 cardinal directions. But the ones on the east and the west side are a little off center. The north and the south are exactly center of the wall. Over here at the base for one of the images. And this is in the gopura. And then you can see here the covered walkway. They have it braced up to keep it from falling down. And then back there is the walkway, but there's no entry. They worry about it falling down, I think. And then this is outside. I think this is on the north side. And then you have a bunch of like rubble and stuff like that all through here. And then we'll look at one of the gates, and then we'll go back and look at the library, I think. Yeah, what a cool ruin. And there's a lot of people over here today. You can see the outer wall and all those over there with the colonnades. Yeah, so you can see the corbelled arch. And these are the faux windows. So they went to all the trouble to make all the door jambs or the window seals and all these little colonnades, but it was a faux window. Just fantastic. All around in here, there's the bases of other buildings. You can see those over there, and they're just outside of the walls. And these are more the laterite, more the red sandstone, and they were all carved the same as everything else here. So you can see the base was carved, and then some pretty dodgy stairs that lead into here. And this is kind of interesting. This is what's up here. And this would have had walls built all around it. And you can see some kind of a pool or something in here. And this was just kind of rubble, and it would have been finished off. And that's right next to the main prong. And over here are all the pieces that they haven't been able to put back. You got pieces of the Naga. You got some legs of one of the figures. Oh, and check this out. That would have been one of the figures right there. And then here's another piece. Ah, that's really cool. Stuff like this is the real treasure trove. These are the original pieces that are broken that they couldn't put back together. All the, like the door jambs, you can see the carvings. Oh, it's really cool. I'm going to make my way over there to that entrance. Now these things right here, they kind of look like bullets, but this is what was up on top of that. Just to give you an idea of the scale of those. So those were up on top of the covered walkway, and they're all carved like a lotus flower. And then they were notched on the bottom to fit in. But right here, this is all little detailed carvings that's weathered over the 1,000 years. Then these are the lintels that they found here at Prasat Phimai. So these are all 11th and 12th century. So whenever they restored this, they would have found these down, buried underneath the grade. Oh, these are fantastic. And I mean, you just can't appreciate the size of this stone. And there would have been a guy with a hammer and a chisel just banging away. Just an amazing craftsman. What this is right here, so this is Vishnu. So you can see him, and he is on the Garuda. And that's all three-dimensional. It's just fantastic. And then all the little details in his headdress and everything else. So there's about 22 lintels that are over here. That doesn't include the ones that are actually in place now. And these stones are just massive. Up here, this is the north gate. Let's take a look in here, and then we'll go back and look at the libraries, and that'll be the last we look at here at this site. More of these gigantic columns and the sandstone. And these are not handicap accessible. You got to jump up here on these right here to get through. They were not handicap accessible back in the day. So you can see the columns that go side to side to keep these stabilized. And this was a huge crucifix pattern, and it looks right into the town. So this is the north entrance. And then out that way, that's a modern temple. And then this is just Phimai here, and a little road that goes all around. So the north entrance wouldn't have been as important, but it still would have been quite cool to come right through here. So you would have walked right through, and it would eventually led right to the center prong. And you can just see all the carvings. Oh, it's fantastic. And you can see down here at the base has those little figures. Oh, just amazing the detail. Yeah, and all these are notched. You can see the holes. So they would have had pieces of wood in there, and then they would have put them in place and then broke the wood off. And the wood has since long rotted away. But you would have came right through here, and then you can see the prong is right there. All right, so let's walk in there, and then we'll look at those libraries, and that'll be the last of our video. So I guess they're not libraries, but they're little prongs. So this is 12th century, made out of the red sandstone. And this little building right next to it is quite cool. They call it the Ho Brahman. And it's a little rectangular building. It's in still fantastic shape. You can see the laterite stones, and then they had the sandstone down at the base. And I didn't notice this before, but that walkway, check out the top, has those little bullet things that look like the little lotuses. And then you can see the pediment right there. And you can see the level of restoration here. So they have the figures and the little Naga, everything up top. And that will end in a lotus bud. And you can see all the dancers here. This is the Prong Hin Dang. It was built at the same time as this one over here, right behind me. And inside of this one here, they had a statue that they think is Buriram VII. And the other one had a Shiva Linga, so that would have been Hindu. So they think Buriram the 7th might be the figure inside of here. And this isn't the real one. This is the Prong Bra Matat. And you can see the laterite stones and the sandstone around the doors and stuff. You can actually go inside of this one. So the lintels here are in bad shape and the top is missing. And then you can see the lintel right above this door. Oh, really beautiful. And then the styling here. And then this would have been the figure that they think was Buriram the 7th. And it's in this cavernous prong. It's even hard to see way up there. Really cool. Yeah, so you can see the little pedestal that it's sitting on. Yeah, this is a replica, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, I need to go to the Phimai Museum one of these times in here. And all of this stuff, you can't even see it, but it's all carved. You've got pigeons flying around in here. It's just amazing. And last look here at this main prong. You can see all the styling there. Just really, really amazing. And then the whole opening here with all the other little buildings. That'll finish up our video over here at Phimai. This is a fantastic site. I really, really like this. It's normally 100 baht to get in here. Right now it's free because of the Phimai festival. But if you're over here in this part of Thailand, stop by and see it. If you're on your way to Buriram, it's worth like a little detour to come here before you go to Phonom Rung or Muang Singh, one of those. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and then you get to see more videos of stuff like this that I do. And if you've been here, or if you have any questions, ask me in a comment down below. Until next time, from over here in Phimai, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.